Man, what's going on, my Must Be's Two Sides family? As you can see, we had to hop on the pod for y'all, man, and just run down what's been going on because it's been a lot. It's been a lot. The season
Clearly.
started. It's
Yeah.
kicking off well, and we got a lot to talk about, man.
Clearly, let's start with the decor behind you. I mean, you didn't up the game a little bit. I feel like, I had a good one before. Now you didn't just raise the bar. I feel like I got to go out and go decorate my office now to get up to par with you.
Hey, man, like I say, look good, feel good, and I definitely feel good in this beautiful space, man. I got a few things. I spent a couple dollars, but it was worth it. It was
It
worth
looked good. It looked good. I will say that, my brother. The first time I saw it, I said, my goodness. I said, my brother think he a production specialist now
Come
with the
on,
red
man.
light and stuff. You doing the thing, brother. You doing
I'm
it.
integrating. I'm assimilating. I'm getting right. I'm getting right.
Hey, you trying to be a journalist, Cole? Is that what you're trying to be?
I'm
You
just
trying to
trying
be
to
a
be me.
journalist now?
I'm just trying to be me, brother. That's all I can be at the end of the day. That's all I can be.
Well, look, we could go all day cracking jokes, but I feel like week one, a lot of entertaining stuff. Why not start with the game of the week, the two primetime games? I feel like Sunday night football, Monday night football. First, the Ravens, the Bills. I mean, the Bills coming back from a 15-point deficit in the fourth quarter to come back and win and stun Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, your boy.
Mm.
And then Monday night football in Chicago, the Vikings, the Bears. I was there at Soldier Field and watched the Vikings come back from a 17-6 deficit to take down Ben Johnson and his new look Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams. A crazy ending. And if that's what football is going to look like, give me 16 more weeks ASAP, bro.
It was a great weekend for football, man. And what more could you ask for as a fan? You see Josh Allen making that crazy fourth quarter comeback, man. You never think you would see something like Derrick Henry fumbling to lose the game, man, with it all on the line. And
Your
just the
boy,
look on it, the look
your
on his
boy.
face said it all. Yeah, man. I was a little hurt for him, but I love to see games like that. So it was what it was, man. And it just seems like Baltimore is struggling to get past the Bills, and it's unfortunate, but they always get another shot at it. So we'll see. We'll see come down the line. It don't have a lot of implications though, but I think this Monday night game, you had boots on the ground, bro. Like you were there, man. What did you see that we couldn't see from at home?
Man, I think what y'all couldn't see at home was just the schematics, bro, and the way the Vikings really played chess, and while the Bears were playing checkers. Like, because while it looked at home that JJ McCarthy was having a terrible first half, and the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed in that first half. When I talked to the guys in the locker room afterwards, was spoke with TJ Hawkinson, your former tight end brother, and he was just like, bro, halftime adjustments are a major thing, like with our football team, and especially with Kevin O'Connell. And he was just talking about how basically they came in, made the halftime adjustments. JJ McCarthy was like just stoic, like I'm ready, like I'm unfazed by what's happening and all that stuff. And then the defense, I think they only blitzed Caleb Williams 25% or one time in the first quarter or first half of that game. In the second half, they blitzed him 44% of the time. I think they blitzed him 14 times in the second half. So basically, what they were saying was we knew what Ben Johnson was capable of, what his offense looked like, but we didn't want to show him our hand just yet. So they wanted to see all the plays, all the formations. You know how you guys script, the first 10 to 15 plays. They wanted to see what the Bears were trying to do, get an idea for that. And then they flipped the script in the second half, both offensively and defensively. And I think Kevin O'Connell went from being a little passive in the first half, trying to make sure that JJ McCarthy didn't have too much on his plate, to in the fourth quarter, just letting him go play football. And that's why he accounted for 3 touchdowns. So it was a crazy comeback, crazy win. All the guys, I mean, for JJ McCarthy, first football game in the regular season. And that's how you end it. And I want to say there was a stat that came out and said there had only been one other quarterback in their debut to account for 3 touchdowns and I think lead a team to victory from behind. And that was Joe Montana. So talk about good company.
And he did it at home in his hometown, the hometown kid. Man, you gotta love stories like that. Came through for his team in the clutch and got that game ball. Monday night football, to say the least. It's crazy to see, man. And I saw some of your interviews too, man. I want to commend you on doing a great job, man.
I appreciate
I
that.
think you do pretty good out there, man. You realize that a lot of people say that we got a fun job, like it's so cool to be us, but you get to be right there in the mix too, man, and everybody don't realize that. And I think that's dope too, man. Like, I hope you soak some of that in sometime, bro.
I do, absolutely. I mean, I think yesterday was probably the best because I normally don't go down on the field before the game ends because I just wait in the press box till it ends and just go in the locker room afterwards. But we are afforded the opportunity to go down there with like less than 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter and kind of just be in that area. So I went down there to watch that final play, and I did that last year for a Thursday night football game. And it's like those are kind of the surreal moments, like being that close to the action, because you haven't done, I haven't done that, since playing college football and whatnot. And you get to be on the field before the game, but not during the game and see how fast these guys move and things like that. So there's definitely some times where I soak up the atmosphere and I'm like, you know what, this ain't bad. Like, this is actually what I dreamed of. So I'm living a dream right now.
Well, that's what's up, brother, for sure, man. But hey, it's two sides to every story, man. And I think early week one in this NFL season,
Yeah.
the players are already fed up, bro.
They came out swinging, didn't they?
They came out swinging, and man, it's a lot going on. Let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it, man.
Can we start
What
with
we
your
got?
boy?
Yeah, what's going on with him, man?
Can we start with Aaron Rodgers? I
Let's
mean,
talk about it.
one, let's be blunt here. Aaron Rodgers is never afraid to ruffle some feathers in the media or to
Uh,
call out some people and just, speak on how he feels. And basically he came out and said that there was a garbage media narrative out there. So look, it's week one and A-Rod is already attacking the media. Like we're in mid-season form here. But so my guy said it was a garbage media narrative that he didn't get along with his offensive coordinator, your boy Arthur Smith,
yeah.
because basically that Arthur Smith allegedly wouldn't give him full control of the offense and to make audibles and things like that. So Aaron Rodgers made it a point to come out and blast, some media members that have been writing articles like that. So Cole, I guess when you tell me from a player, what do you see? Because the articles, look, I don't know if they're factual or not. So that's why I want to get your input before I try and defend a journalist or give a point of view from our side.
Look, man. First of all, Aaron Rodgers is always on it. Like after a week one huge win with a new team, you're thinking about the media narratives, and I love it, bro. He's always on top of it. He's ready for his Pat McAfee appearance coming up
Yes.
soon.
Yes.
So I'm waiting for that one too. But look, man, I think that some of these narratives and assumptions that get made in preseason when the media has nothing else to talk about and they're making up some things. And one of those things was Arthur Smith and Aaron Rodgers might not get along. Now, I could see where they may have drawn some of those conclusions from, just from in the past, how Aaron Rodgers has orchestrated some of his offenses, and the same with Arthur Smith. But I think that you can't make these assumptions prior to the season until you really see what's going to happen. Like you can do that, but you're going to have to take the risk of being wrong. And Aaron Rodgers and Arthur Smith went out there and proved the haters wrong. I think that they probably have a great relationship just based off of how my interactions with Arthur Smith and seeing some of the things that Aaron Rodgers does on TV. I feel like their personalities mesh a lot, and that goes a long way when it comes to collaborating on the offense. So
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the articles where it said that. I tried to look for some, and I just found some vague ones. Nothing where I thought where he would have to come out week one after a game like that and blast the media and get on his little tangent like he did. But nonetheless, he did that. I didn't think it was anything from you. Maybe did the media have a right angle in writing that because of previous regimes or like previous quarterbacks? I mean, you play with Russell Wilson, you play with Justin Fields. Like, what was that like? What was that reign like that Arthur Smith had on them? Did he give them full control of the offense, or did he have to have some control? So maybe the media members of the journalists who wrote these articles, maybe they had a reason for writing that, right?
I feel like last year it was a huge thing where they kept trying to do some of the same things, put Art and Russell Wilson against each other in certain scenarios.
Right.
Uh, but I will say from experience that Art definitely had his offense on the rope. You know,
Mhm.
he controlled everything and he wanted to go exactly how he wanted to go. So and 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 just in prior years to Russ getting to Pittsburgh, you know, Russ wanted to have a little more control over his offense as well as Aaron Rodgers. You know, these are veteran quarterbacks that won Super Bowls. So, you know, they feel like they deserve the right to have some control. And, you know, when you hear those two differing sides in one offense, it's easy for the media to go and try to exploit that narrative and dig. So I feel like they running it back this year.
I just feel like A-Rod, Aaron Rodgers. Can we just have a little grace, man, right now? I mean, look, you came week one podium blasting everybody. I mean, you loaded the chopper and just let it ring. You let it ring on the New York Jets, talking about how you wanted to beat them and how they didn't think you could play football and was washed up, garbage media narratives and so on. I'm like, I just feel like, bro, you ain't even hit the Pat McAfee show yet, where normally you give these outlandish takes and these headlines that we have to go talk about. It's week one. Relax. Stop reading all those articles. You say you don't care about what people say. He says that all the time. So why are you sitting here commenting on it if you tell us all the time you don't care what we have to say about you? So,
I feel like the comments flow a little easier when you win like that. You
oh,
know,
absolutely.
last year he was losing, so he had to get his thoughts together before he went on the Pat McAfee show.
I'm just saying, it's week one. Chill, Aaron. Dang, you did
Yeah,
good though. You look good, baby. Had a nice bounce back. Hey, tell Art, tell Roman, whoever the GM is, call Mike Cole. Y'all may need another tight end. He gonna be there for you. Need a red zone specialist. You feel me? All right, now let's talk about another guy who's somewhat red zone specialist on a new team this year.
mm.
DeAndre Hopkins, now playing with the Baltimore Ravens, scored a touchdown this past week, one-handed snag. He's known for that stuff. It was filthy. Like, you know, what they're going to be able to do in that Ravens offense, now having a big body wide receiver for Lamar Jackson, he can just throw a jump ball up to. So that's amazing. But DeAndre Hopkins caught some attention for another headline other than his touchdown catch. And Cole, you care to further explain?
Yeah, man. Basically, there was a media member that's part of the Cardinals organization
Okay.
that went on to make a tweet about how he's glad they let Hop go when they did because he's been washed ever since he left Arizona. So D Hop, of course, has to reply on Twitter because it's been a history of back and forth between these two. So
It has.
this is the latest installment of it, and he says, "Did your girlfriend get taken by a black man in high school or college because the undertones are seeming like you need therapy or something along those lines?"
He said, "Did your woman cheat on you with a black guy in high school slash college?
Yeah,
This personal undertone you've had against me since I've left AZ is therapy worthy."
yeah, and he said, "Whatever I did to you, I apologize."
Oh my god!
So he went on to delete that tweet, but
Yeah.
you know the message was sent, man. He's sick of it. He's fed up, bro. Like, why are you still bothering me? I've left Arizona a long time ago. You had something to say while I was in Tennessee. You had something to say probably while I was in Kansas City. So I'm on my third team. Like, I'm just trying to ingratiate myself here. And obviously, he showed last night that he is not washed. A catch like that does not come from a washed player. Like, that's big time. That's huge. It didn't lead to them winning the game, but it probably should have. And you know, this guy's just talking out the side of his mouth, man.
So I did some digging. I did some digging with the help of my friend ChatGPT to find how many articles, comments, so this guy Kyle Odegaard has made referencing DeAndre Hopkins,
Mhm.
and I've seen three on record. And one dates back to a little while ago when he went to Tennessee, and it said Ryan Tannehill's numbers when targeting DeAndre Hopkins this year: 11 for 18 for 105 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 37.7 passer rating. This is after Odegaard said that he believes DeAndre Hopkins is washed since he left Arizona. And then Hopkins responded with, "Do you work for the Titans or Cardinals? I'm confused." And
Right.
so, look, I do think there's a little personal vendetta. Think maybe Kyle maybe felt like he got disrespected by DeAndre while he was there, and so he feels like, you know, now it's the time where He can air out the grievances and get some stuff off his chest. Um, would I attack a player like that, especially if they're gone? Nah, probably not. But I think there's another side, Cole. I think DeAndre Hopkins is getting his feathers ruffled a little bit by this guy. Like maybe there's some truth. I'm not saying he's washed, but his numbers aren't what they used to be in Houston or Arizona, nor should they be. He's older, but maybe there's some truth in what this guy is saying that DeAndre Hopkins feels the need to respond because when I looked it up, it's only been 3 articles. Now, granted, it could be far more tweets and things like that I was unable to find, but maybe he's striking the tone, hitting the nerve.
He could be, man, but it's hard for a player that's been at the top of the top, like and
You won a Super Bowl?
he hasn't won a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I don't believe.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't won a Super Bowl, but he has been known as one of the top receivers in this league.
Facts.
And he's proved it year after year. Even during his time in Arizona. So when you bounce around to different teams and you don't get the level of production that you're used to, but you know you can still do it, which I believe DeAndre Hopkins can still do it at a high level. Maybe not the same exact level, but still at a high level. And like I said, the catch the other night, like that doesn't happen unless you're still able to do it at a high level.
Yeah.
So
agree.
Some of these things may get to you a little more than they would usually. I will concur with that. But at the same time, what personal vendetta do you have against this man that you're following him team to team 3 years later, bro? Like,
let me ask you this though, Cole. He's reporting on what he's doing in the game. He's not belittling him. He's not demeaning him. He's not talking.
Called him Walsh.
That's speaking on his play on the field.
Come on now. Okay, fair enough.
I'm saying that's speaking on his play on the field. He's not.
That's not a report on his actual.
That's just an opinion. That's just an opinion.
Yes, exactly. That's your personal opinion.
So, but a personal opinion on his play on the field. Do you think that maybe one, there is no boundaries? I feel like when you're clapping back, if you poke the bear can do whatever he wants to do, but there's consequences for things like that. Do you think DeAndre crossed the line by talking about, did your wife get cheated on by a black man in high school or college? Like, like I get the whole this undertone is therapy worthy. Like, cool, that's funny, but like he quickly deleted that tweet. So my thing is, if you go say something like that, stand on it. Like, why you take it down?
Yeah, that was a little, he bit a little too much off his chip on that one, man. He shouldn't have went that far. And he quickly realized that and deleted it. Just acting on impulse. A lot of us do it, including media members when they make some of their tweets. But
we're human.
He got a little fed up, and he realized his wrong, righted it by deleting it, and went out there following the tweet and the interaction and did what he was supposed to do.
Because my thing is, my man wasn't tagging DeAndre Hopkins in his stuff.
He's calling his name Hop. I'm glad we traded Hop.
He ain't tagging this man though, so that means Hop looking. He's looking for a problem. Athletes love to say they don't care about.
You know how many retweets something like that would get? Like, he don't even have to look that hard, bro. That something like that is gonna find you easily. Oh man, this dude calling you
a guy of his caliber, future Hall of Famer, one of the best receivers to ever touch the field in the NFL. Ignore it. It's just a disgruntled fan, maybe, who loves the Arizona Cardinals, who wanted you to end your career there. No reason to talk about his wife getting cheated on by a black guy. All right, moving on.
Fair enough.
All right, last one. So once again, another controversial topic. Let's tee it up though. So on Get Up, ESPN show, Pete Schrager, Dan Orlovsky, Teddy Bruschi, Ryan Clark having a conversation about CeeDee Lamb, the Dallas Cowboys, their opening night game, and kind of how that fared against the Philadelphia Eagles. And for those of you who don't know, CeeDee Lamb had a great game, 7 catches, 110 yards, but he also had 3 crucial drops, like 3 crucial drops. And so the panelists, they were sitting there discussing basically the game, and Pete Schrager, who just came over from NFL Network, just got the ESPN a couple of months ago, basically was saying that, yeah, CeeDee Lamb had 3 big drops, but he also had a big game. And, if it wasn't for those catches, those 7 catches, 110 yards, who knows if the Cowboys are even in the game. And the other, analysts were going on to say that, no, that's a bad game. And, basically, basically it's a bad game. And, that's a moment that player will be thinking about. He won't be thinking about the 7 catches, 110 yards. And so the conversation got a little heated. And Ryan Clark, who's no stranger to saying what comes to his mind, had something to say to Pete Schrager about his take and his stance on that conversation and that debate. Let's take a listen and see what they had to say.
AJ Brown has had a better day than CeeDee Lamb.
But you know what you wake up saying though? AJ Brown's team is 1-0.
Of course,
right? Like that's what
I get it.
But the thing is this though, and we shouldn't do this on TV. And so I apologize if people think this is rude. That's the non-player.
Oh, stop! CeeDee Lamb is.
Let me tell you why. I'm not looking at
fantasy football, Ryan. I'm not. Don't belittle me like that. I could come in and say, as 3 ex-players are saying one thing, and give an alternative perspective that maybe CeeDee Lamb did play well. And
Peter, what I need for you to do is not get mad and let me finish for one.
Okay, go on.
It wasn't about you. It was going to be about me.
All right, Cole, you heard it. You heard what Ryan Clark had to say. He told Pete that basically that's the non-athlete in you, the non-player in you. You haven't walked in our shoes. So how dare you speak on something that happened in between the white lines? I'm going to shut up and let you speak first.
How dare you? Well, first of all, it is true. He hasn't walked in those shoes. I tend to agree with the former athletes that you don't really count that as a good game. I could see if all those things happened and you won the game still, you could say something along those lines. But when you lose the game and the 3 drops were in some of the most crucial moments, you never count that as a good game, bro. That's a bad game. You contributed to us losing this game.
Right.
So I understand that part of it. But Ryan Clark just belittling the man on national TV and he feeling the need to defend himself. It just has a bad look, and it's almost a pattern at this point. And he just has to go about it in a different type of way, man. I think. What you think?
I think because yes, it's a pattern, like you said, because Ryan Clark has called out Robert Griffin III for his wife and, some things along those lines. He's called out other people and he's had to walk it back. And I saw something on Twitter the other day and I thought it was quite funny. And they're like, Ryan Clark, of course, issued an apology. We'll pop that up on the screen. It read, "Today I had an interaction with my colleague, Pete Schrager, both on and off the air that I regret. I have apologized to Peter and taken accountability with ESPN leadership. I value working with Peter and look forward to this season. My focus will remain on professionalism, teamwork, and being a better teammate moving forward." So Front Office Sports came out and said that basically Ryan Clark is on the hot seat right now at ESPN because of his actions and his repeat offenses, and basically that they want him to walk a straight and narrow path. And look, this is my thing, and I've said this to you before. One, I get where y'all coming from. Like being a former athlete, not playing at that level, but understanding like, look, there are still moments that I look back on my career where I'm like, look, if I would have did this differently and maybe I would have had a different outcome. That's true. But I also think that just because we didn't step in between those white lines in the National Football League doesn't mean that we lose credibility on a topic. There are plenty of coaches in the National Football League that never played it down. There are many general managers and owners that know nothing about football and never played it at the highest level or in college for that matter, but they're yet tasked to build a team and to run an organization. So I think that when players, I think sometimes are speaking out both sides of their neck when they talk about, well, you don't have the experience, you can't talk on this. Yet you're listening to a coach in your locker room who didn't have experience playing in your shoes, but he did the same thing we did. He learned, he watched tape, he studied the game, and he became a fan of the game, and a student of the game. So I think that, and I think also when you talk about the on-air disputes and you telling people, oh, well, you didn't walk these shoes, look, and you don't know what it's like to have a bad game, and I don't want to talk to people after a bad game. Hate to break it to you, brother, but like you still getting paid a 5-figure check for that bad game. Like imagine somebody who's like making what you're making every 6 months, and then having to worry about where their next meal is going to come from, how they're going to pay their bill, how they're going to deal with inflation in the world. And then they still got to go home to their kids or their situation or their messed up life. And they still got to make it through and persevere. Like there's so many people in the world dealing with much bigger things than 3 drops in a week 1 game. Like I can understand the magnitude of a Super Bowl loss. You made a controversial play. That play will live with you forever. But it's like you're a rich person talking about a game at the end of the day, a kid's game. Like it's not real life pressure. Yes, it's pressure. Yes, it's stressful because you feed your family like that. But it's also a lot of other people that are going through more pressure packed moments. And I think analysts, for that matter, not being rich all the time, kind of like the athletes we talk about or work alongside, we have struggles that we can go through, that Pete can go through, and we can learn to persevere through all that stuff. So that's my only take on that. Like when, those guys say you don't understand what it's like to be a player in that situation. Like, no, you're right. But you also don't understand what it may have been like, to be in a situation like, yeah, you may have been in it and got out of it. But it's like, there are people going through far worse in life. There's some drop passes and missed tackles.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree with what you said, man. But I got to push back a little bit. I definitely got to push back a little bit.
Go for it.
I think that Ryan Clark is speaking from his own experience, and as we know, life is all about perspective.
Mhm.
He didn't start in CeeDee Lamb's position where
Mhm.
he's making this hundreds of millions of dollars. He started as an undrafted free agent.
Yep.
And if he had a bad game, he could be sent home. There would be no more feeding his family. So some of these not real life pressures that come from a child's game have huge implications that are directly tied to real life pressures.
Right.
So being sent home because you missed your assignment on defense is a real thing that can happen to you. And now you're struggling and you're back in that cycle of, maybe it's poverty or trying to figure out where your next check may come from, just like a lot of people in this world. So I believe that, Ryan Clark definitely makes his point and makes it from his own experience and where he's come from and how he's persevered through certain things. But he can definitely do it in a better way that respects his colleagues just a little more. And that's the middle ground of it all.
And I'll push back on that just a little bit and say that like you're talking about him providing for his family while playing, he's doing the same thing now. Like you're making probably 7 figures working with ESPN. Like, granted, you got your own podcast, you got your own platform that you kind of established outside, which is what you should be doing when you
Mhm.
get to a platform like ESPN. But that's a 7-figure check you're getting from your family. Like, I don't know what the pension like that you got from the league, but it's like you're still in that situation. I feel like right now, like you're fighting to feed your family. Like, yes, like you miss a play on the field, you may not be employed. All right, cool. Now you still got to go find a job to feed your family. Welcome to what is called being a regular American in the world. Like, where we also have that same pressure where if you don't file your reports right, you can be audited and fired. If I mess up and I misspeak on television and I say something that's inaccurate, I can be fired. Like, I feel like it's all different pressures, but it's all the same at the end of the day. It's just different arenas that we're in. I feel like in different performances that we have to put on. But with that being said, I think you got to respect those that kind of paved the way. Because as Ryan Clark said, he used to go and do internships while playing, like to try and be a journalist. And I feel like when Ryan Clark started, it was much different. It was more X's and O's. It was just high energy, talking ball. Now it's like I'm trying to have the most viral phrases, the most clippable moments. And I think, sometimes people get lost in the sauce when they get to a place like that and become entertainers. And that's what they are paid to do. They are paid to entertain, and he is quite entertaining, and he's also very knowledgeable about ball. Just wish that he would stop throwing his teammates under the bus and us journalists, because we know ball too. We just didn't go lay our body on the line like y'all, but we still know ball. So,
yeah, definitely, man. And our resident journalist here thinks he can still go do it. So,
No. I said in my prime. I'm not 33-year-old Mod, 22-year-old Mod could have went and got
okay. Yeah, all right.
22.
I got a helmet for you, Ahmad. You see that in the back? I got a helmet for you, G. What
This
you
ain't pros versus Joes, brother. Them days is over with. This ain't pros versus Joes. I can go do a route. We can go do a 1-on-1. You could be the DB.
Oh yeah, I'll strap you. That's easy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. I think that's a good place to wrap, man. Just had to hop on and talk about some things, man. Got to get it off our chest
already, man.
And guess what? We coming right back for week 2, man. So
what's up with y'all athletes, dog? I mean, y'all got a lot of animosity. It just started. Like, dang, y'all ain't happy the season started? Like, we ain't even letting the headlines brew right now. Muggs just jumping right into the beef. Week 1.
They making our job easier. I keep them coming.
Nah, you're right about that. It's always something to dissect between journalists and athletes. So y'all keep them headlines coming, keep those controversies coming, and we go keep breaking it down and giving y'all both sides of it.